All right, rock and roll. So this one's going to be simply titled Low Information Diet. And I actually got this from Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, back in the day. And it's a concept that, I have to keep revisiting myself time and time and time again. And here's the thing about it for you to sit and think about is that more than likely, I can't guarantee this, but more than likely, you have all the ingredients and all the necessary information that you need. And so by continuing to be a massive consumer of, now the irony is you're sitting here listening to this right now, there's kind of a double-edged sword to this, but I digress. The more and more information, and this is the thing, this is about perspective and mental shifts. This is not about me just providing loads of more information that you don't know what to do with. This isn't about technical and tactics. Plenty of people, because what I find is when it comes to, Facebook ads is a tactical thing. YouTube ads is tactical. Make 40 phone calls is tactical. There's a lot of technical things that we can do. And through the years, what I've seen is that plenty of people, they know everything they need to do. Why aren't they doing it? Right? There's plenty of people, out there who are you are far more talented than right now. Like you look at their work and go, how are they getting paid that? Right? How are they making the money they're making off that? How did they get $10,000 for that project? I know I make better videos than that. I know I do better than that. Because I can tell you right now, it's not the tactics and the technical and your, ability to do what it is that you do. It's right here. It's in between, your two ears. It's in your brain. It's in your mind. See, if it were all the technical and tactical things, there'd be a lot more really wealthy creatives, right? There'd be a lot less starving artists because there are plenty of people who are super, super talented, but because they don't have any self-worth, they don't have any self-esteem, they don't have clarity about what the thing they're offering, they don't know how to offer it, they don't know how to talk to people, they don't have the people skills. Right? There's so many of these soft skills. There's so much of this woo-woo. There's so much of the touchy-feely stuff that people don't want to look at because it's not the concrete, do this, do that. And I'm getting very bold and confident to tell, especially the video community, that the reality is, and this can apply to a lot of different people, but the reality is you're not lacking information. Right? In fact, what I see a lot of times is I just got messages today from multiple people who were saying, I'm actually discouraged by all the people doing what they're doing. Discouraged. They're not encouraged. That's interesting because you may right now be actually consuming what should be positive. And that's where we've got to shift the mindset. We've got to get you back in a positive state. We got to get you back into an optimistic state. We got to get you back into seeing a light at the end of the tunnel and not everything's gloom and doom and dark and there's too many people doing it. I guess I won't get to do it. I wish I would have started earlier. These different things that bring us down, which make our belief go down, which makes our action go down, which means the results we're going to get will be almost non-existent in times. And so when people are in groups and they're seeing these amazing videos or they're watching these inspiring people talk, they have no context. This is why I like doing some version of one-to-one support with people, is because what I find is just a simple perspective shift for you because of your subtle shift in your situation versus another's versus everything being, even in this scenario. That's why we do live events and one-on-one coaching and things, because even in this scenario, I fundamentally recognize some people can hear this, interpret it in a great way, and boom, they're off for the races. But others will still be a little stuck, a little confused. And if you're still confused and stuck and unclear, you won't act. You won't move forward. You won't take action. And the reality is that's not a good place to be in. And so at times you're watching these inspirational videos, you're hearing these inspirational stories, you're seeing these things, but yet you're being discouraged because you don't know the context that, I'm not saying this is always the scenario, but you might be 40 years old wanting to go after your dream of now, and maybe the dream just happened a year or two ago, but you really realize, wow, video is the thing. But you see all these people, you don't know their age, you don't know their situation, you don't know their circumstances. For all you know, you need $8,000 a month and you've gotten your business to $4,000 and still can't quit your job, or you're choosing not to. And somebody else looks like, and you've been doing this for 2 years now, and somebody else, they've been doing it for 3 months and they're already saying they're going full time, they quit their job. What you don't know is they're 19 years old living in their parents' basement, right? That was me when I started. And I had to go through so much to realize that the reality is that for a long time I did inspiring videos and all this kind of stuff like this, but I was still coming from a mindset of a 19-year-old kid that lived in his parents' basement, not realizing that there were these people here who were 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, who had a ton of bills and obligations and responsibilities and kids and things, and I couldn't empathize, and I was still coming from the kid who had no bills and had no responsibility and had no obligations and needed $500 a month to get by versus $5,000. And then when I got older and almost turned 30, I realized, holy crap, I really got to rethink this whole thing, because there's a lot happening now that the things I have to do to make things happen are a lot different, because I'm no longer can be like, oh, I can spend a whole month and make $250, 2 thumbs up, right? It's completely different. And so throughout my life, what I've had to find is I have to start removing all the email newsletters and all the things that trigger me. What triggers you constantly, right? And even for me, I talk about being a jumpstart, not life support. Like, I want to help you be empowered to think for yourself. I don't want you to need me. You shouldn't need anyone. Where you cannot think for yourself. You cannot make decisions for yourself. So for me, I have people that come in and then they disappear for 6 months to a year, and then they're like, oh my God, where are you? I need you again. Because they need that little jump start. They need that little jolt. That's what I want for people. I want people to come in and get what they need and then be off for the races and making things happen, not more confused or more lost or not being able to make any decisions to move forward because you can't get that answer, right? You watch those YouTube videos, you listen to different things, you have zero access to the person, and therefore you feel so stuck and confused because there's that little shift. Well, you said this, here's what's going on, how's it apply to me? And boom, you can unlock that. And so you might need to start unsubscribing for things. Unsubscribing from newsletters, unsubscribing from YouTube channels, unsubscribing from all sorts of things. Unfollowing, unfriending, whatever it takes in your news feed, things that negatively trigger you, right? Now, that doesn't mean that I sit here and believe that the world doesn't have problems and challenges and it's all rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns. I'll say this all the time. People see me thumbs up and positive and smiling most of the time. And that is the truth. It is most of the time now. And it's not fake. It's not false. But there is shit that happens. I'm not rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns all the time. But I try to live there the majority of the time. But what I find is the more I'm negatively triggered by things all the time, that it's hard to get into a positive state. It's hard to find that momentum because, quite frankly, how can I? I'm constantly bombarded with negative. Now, there's a big difference between being naive and having no clue that bad things happen. I know that bad things happen. I don't need a constant reminder, like the weather. I don't need a constant updates all day long about what's going on that's negative, of things that I'm not going to personally do anything about but complain about it. So unless you really and truly, and this is the thing, because then we feel like, well, what will people say? They'll think I'm stupid. People are going to think you're stupid anyways. It don't matter what you do or what you know or how intelligent you appear. People are going to think you're dumb. They're going to think you're stupid. They're not going to think you're, know the right things. What did you think of that? I just ask people when I've given up the I don't need to look good in front of you. Oh, what happened today? Oh, really? Great. There's certain things I'm not passionate enough where I got to be well informed about every nitpicking thing on planet Earth. Because what the news and media and things do not do is feed us with all the good that is out there. But when you start to get into a positive state, start surrounding yourself and putting more positive things in front of you, it's amazing. Your brain will start to find more positive things and more cool clients, better projects, better pain will start to pop up when you're not in a constant state of everybody's cheap, nobody has any money, the world sucks, I guess this is just how it is, right? When you're in that constant negative state, it's hard to be positive. And so that's where the low information diet is continually decrease the amount of things that are going to negatively trigger you and increase into your feed, into your life, the things that are going to positively inspire you and motivate you and encourage you to move forward on the things that you know you need to do but haven't been doing it. So that's it for low information diet for right now. Hope you found that helpful, and I look forward to connect with you on the next audio. Rock and roll.